Hey guys, in today's video I want to feature a match between Shamir, one of my students that actually lives in the UK and doesn't work with me that often, but I'm pulling up to the course and these guys are warming up. You guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's just play one set.
Shit.
Wow, Shamir.
Man.
So the wind is blowing like in this direction. Just keep that in mind as you guys play.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any coaching. You guys play the
Yeah.
set. When you're done, we'll sit down, we'll talk about what happened. I'll give both of you guys some tips, okay?
Okay.
All right, so you just play your best and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
First of all, the conditions were super tough today.
Yeah.
Like from one side it was blowing hard this way, and then from the other side, very similar to our practice session that we had, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you have to be very careful when you're playing on this side. It's very easy to overhit.
Exactly.
And on the other side, you can hit much harder, but the problem is that the wind is not always dependable. So you can't just say, I'm gonna hit everything hard, everything's gonna land in. There's these spots where the wind goes away,
Exactly.
and now you're hitting hard and sloppy and the ball goes way out.
Exactly.
Also, the danger of playing on this side is that the ball dies. But let me just give you some tips to both of you guys, some of the things that I observed. So with you, Adam, short-term tips that I can give you, things that you can improve immediately would be just generally having a little bit more intensity between the shots, a little bit more footwork. You often get caught a little bit flat-footed, and you have to make improvisations because of that. Like the ball jumps on you, especially on a windy day like today. And right now, your strongest shot is the forehand, obviously. So you kind of have to build your game around the forehand, run around as many backhands as possible. Long term, what you need to work on is improve your transition game. That's where you got burned a lot today. Your transition game, meaning like the shots that are happening in between the baseline and the net. And your net game, your volleys, you're not comfortable at the net. And one part of your game that's completely underutilized, how tall are you?
6'1" or something.
Okay, for somebody 6'1", you're underutilizing your serve. You're just kind of just getting it in. You're not really utilizing any power sources. So a long-term goal should be to develop some better serve mechanics. That way you can get a little bit more free points. Your backhand, especially the slice, is very weak. I wouldn't really slice anything now until you develop proper slice technique. Those are the long-term goals, okay?
Intensity, do I look like I'm sluggish out there? Like I'm not moving much between shots or something?
Listen, this is something that a lot of players struggle with across all recreational levels. Yeah. And it's just a matter of like, when you look at somebody who plays at the high level, they're always bouncing around. They get a forehand and they're like here, like this. Where you guys, you're more like this, you know? Yeah, you're just kind of, the heels are on the ground more. Yeah. And in between the shots, the heels are on the ground more often too. So it's about being on your toes more. But the problem with this is it's going to be very uncomfortable to play with more intensity. It's going to feel weird. You're going to feel so awkward to bounce around and move around like this. So it's something that you really have to force yourself to do because it's not something that comes natural to players. Shamir, my coach in college was Mel Purcell, and he gave me one of the best tips that I ever received. And the tip was, don't get beaten by a cheap shot. It's such a simple tip, but it's so true. Because so many times today you got burned and you got beaten by a cheap shot. Especially on this side where the wind was blowing, you know, with you. So this is something that you can improve like right away. It's just a mental switch that you're going to have before every point. Plan to react to every single ball and be ready for every single ball. Even if it feels like the ball is going to go into the net, you still go for it. Don't do any drop shots.
I think I only hit 2.
There's way too many.
Yeah.
There's too many drop shots. What I liked was your control from the baseline. I thought you controlled the ball well. I really like your one-handed backhand. You didn't miss that many. And you did slice a lot, but slice ended up working in your favor, except on the return of serve, which is not really a slice, it's more of a chip. That's something that we got to work on. The chip is a little bit technically, there's some issues there. You're too big with the chip and you're...
Instead of blocking it.
Yeah, you miss hitting the ball on the return of serve. Now, when you play against Emma, if you make mistakes like you did today, it's going to be very difficult. Similar to what I told Adam, the intensity has to be much higher, and you really have to find big targets and keep the ball in play. Because once you start missing against her, it's just going to be a downward spiral that's going to be tough to get out of, because your confidence is going to go way down and it's going to be a disaster. So it's going to be of the utmost importance to keep the ball in play with high intensity, pick big targets. Mm-hmm. And how you're going to do that, you're going to have to try really hard.
Yeah.
But I did like a lot of things that I saw today on your forehand side. I thought forehand was pretty good. You were controlling it well. You weren't going for too much. And the serve was strong. Your serve has gotten a lot better. You got a lot of free points off your serve.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. That was a good match.
Thanks, Nick.
Tough conditions today. The wind was rough.